I want to begin this video by wishing a full and speedy recovery to Jordan Peterson, his granddaughter, and, of course, to Mikhaila Peterson. This is not a personal attack. This video uses a current example to point to a larger structure. At the moment, Mikhaila frames her father's illness as a spiritual attack, even as an attack of Satan. I'm not responding to her emotionally, morally, or theologically. I'm responding to the words themselves. What I want to show is the structural link between Christianity and Egypt, between Christian thinking and a distorted reading of the Torah, and how much of humanity right now is being led by people who do not understand the word, yet insist on continuing to spread it, teach it, and amplify it, while they themselves still do not know what they are speaking. This is not an interpretation. This is not a belief. This is about language as fact.
A lot of me thinks there's a huge spiritual element at play with like Dennis Prager being paralyzed and then Charlie Kirk.
What spiritual thing do you think could be going on?
Honestly, there's this resurgence of Christianity. And so I think there's a demonic element at play that's hitting people.
You genuinely think this is the work of the devil?
It's too coincidental to not be. It was C.S. Lewis that talked about synchronicities and that's how you can kind of identify God. What are the chances of my dad being hospitalized and then my newborn being hospitalized for turning blue within a 3-hour time period randomly? Which is why I went on YouTube and asked for prayers.
At the end of this video, I will leave you with a single word, prayer, so you can look at it for yourself, so you can see what it actually means. This may be the most frightening word for Christians in particular, and for religious people in general. Judaism, Islam, and anyone who relies on prayers. But with all due respect to C.S. Lewis, God is not found through synchronicity. God is encountered in a document called the Torah, 5 books written in Hebrew, which function as a technology for communication with Him. Everything else is guesswork, and like all guesswork in the world, whether it appears as religious interpretation, science, medicine, or any other human-made system, sometimes it touches truth, and sometimes it completely misses it. The code exists so we can return to it and verify. There is no subject in the world that cannot be examined if you know the code. When Mikhaila Peterson says resurgence of Christianity, she is describing a subjective cultural experience, not a global demographic reality, and certainly not a return to the code or to a deeper understanding of the text. Factually, at the global demographic level, there is no numerical resurgence of Christianity. Christianity is not the growing religion today. What is actually happening? Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world, highest growth rate globally, due to higher birth rates and a younger population. According to broad demographic projections, Islam is expected to equal or surpass Christianity in total adherence during the 21st century. Christianity is in a relative decline. For now, it remains the world's largest religion. However, there is a sharp decline in Europe, Canada, and Australia. Significant weakening among younger generations. Localized growth exists mainly in Africa, in South America. Through evangelical and Pentecostal movements, this is not a return to roots, but a change in style. What resurgence actually refers to. This is not a demographic shift. It is a cultural backlash, intensified identity discourse, politicization of religion, a return to religious language as a psychological anchor in times of instability. In other words, not more believers, but more noise around belief. To explain the movement already encoded in Hebrew, I need to pass through several words. I cannot go into each one in depth here. On the channel, you can find separate videos that examine each word on its own. If you identify strongly with a specific religion, this may not be easy to hear. Some of what follows may even offend you. Know this: these are not my personal opinions. This comes from the words themselves. Religions are a human invention. They do not exist in the Torah, not Judaism, not Christianity, not Islam. What exists are movements, patterns that later became attached to religions, and that also appear across all ancient and modern Near Eastern cultures. The foundation of my work is to show that the collective script is already written. It is not a story about an individual, a tribe, or a nation. It is a story about time. Our influence on the script, through structures such as governments, democracy, and political systems, is shallow or non-existent altogether. There is one source that dictates the movements of reality, past, present, and future. And if you ask about free will, yes, it exists, but only at the personal level. The ability of each person to jump upstream like a salmon swimming against the current. The word El, one God, when reversed, becomes Lo, no. This is the key to the verse. You will be like God, knowing good and evil. To be like God is to activate the power of resistance, to know how to say no. And the word freedom, its meaning is to search. In this world, there is only one freedom: to continue searching for truth and for the divine. The code is built from letter combinations. The root is the first contraction, the initial narrowing with which everything begins. That root is Zar. It appears for the first time in Genesis in the verse, "And blessed is God Most High, who delivered your enemies into your hand, and He gave him a tenth of everything." This line is spoken by Melchizedek after Abram's military victory. The focus here is structural, not devotional. Victory is framed as a transfer of power rather than as heroism. The tithe is a return gesture, an acknowledgement of source, not ritual law. It marks alignment with the source of the outcome before any later religious systems existed. The root appears here for the first time with the meaning your enemies. But this root already contains all of the following meanings within it: a narrow place, distress, pressure, Egypt, Mitzrayim, dual constriction, a system of pressure, not a nation, but a condition. Forced velocity under constraint, messenger, runner, halfback, quarterback. Function, not role. Tisur, axis, pivot, hinge, courier. The turning point where pressure converts into direction. Inside the system, an internal engine forms. Instinct, urge, impulse, drive, formative force. This is what pressure produces internally. When pressure exceeds tolerance, friction appears. The sound and sensation of compression push too far. In one line, Egypt is not a place but a mechanism. Pressure, compression, internal drive, forced motion, and pivot. This is not moral. This is structural realignment. To this same field, we can add more words without introducing any external interpretation. Trouble, a state of sustained pressure, not a single event. Bound, compressed, tied without space. A bundle, something gathered and tied into one unit. Trouble is the experience. Bound is the state. Bundle is the object. Pain is the sensation. Scream is the discharge. If Metzar is the bottleneck, the cervix is the place of birth. This is life itself, our world. The combination of the letters, Tzadi, associated with alignment and direction, and Resh, associated with perception through the head, expresses a force operating in the world through a consciousness called Egypt. That same force develops into what is perceived today as the Christian world. The word Netzer, connected to Christians, Christianity, and Nazareth, it is built from 3 letters, whose field of production is light, rupture, and moment. A spark, a brief flash of light born from friction or impact, shining, glittering. Also, the act of producing sparks, breaking something into illuminated fragments. A flicker, a quality of shimmer. Brilliance, a glint, a reflective flake. The verbs follow the same motion: to flash briefly, to intensify the spark, to amplify the shine, to cause a flicker. Related forms belong to the same movement: lightness, hovering, shine without weight, fast, cutting, the instant of capture. A young branch, a living beginning, a spark of growth. The shared structure is always the same, not continuous light, an event. Nun is the letter that signifies descent into this world. In Aramaic, Nun is a fish, a parable for the human condition in the lower waters. Every additional combination of these letters teaches another layer of how this force appears in the world. This is an almost infinite investigation, yet it contains all manifestations of the forces in reality, past, present, and future. And so without going through every word, Egypt or Christianity is a force that runs reality, always shining, always bursting, larger than life, and it is tied to a single persona called Esau, the hunter. Before explaining where Esau and his hands are taking us, it is necessary to state the primary key for understanding the code. There are no real people, no separate personalities, no independent figures. Every word, every name is an expression of the divine. This is the meaning of Yahweh is one, and his name is one. And so every investigation through the human mind, conducted from the human perspective, through archaeology of structures, archaeology of words, through historians' testimonies, accumulated narratives, translations, and interpretations. It is an endless race inside a mouse maze. There is only one way out: the Hebrew code. Those who do not find it remain trapped in the same debates, the same arguments, the same sterile attempts to prove whether Jesus descended from the cross or rose upon it. The attempt itself to prove what is fundamentally unprovable. It is a particular form of madness. And that too is explained by the code. It is bound to control and power. And so, within the roots of Hebrew words, you will find all the troubles that the red force generates in the world, from the earliest wars over land, through the Crusades, and up to the present day, including the Islamic conquest of Europe, with more yet to come across the entire world. Because the code that explains Jesus, it is the very same code that explains Ishmael. And all of them are tied to the voice of Jacob, or to the curse that fell upon the world. These forces are the tension between life and death. The lesson humanity is required to pass through. Like a pendulum, we learn hunger, then abundance, then life, and now we will learn death. This is the meaning of one. There is no way around it, no shortcut, no acceleration. Everything is timed in advance. The story may be told in words, but it is written in algorithms. And those algorithms know how to activate and how to shut down the narrative themselves. So it is worth knowing this. There is no Satan. There is only the most ancient fear, abandonment. The fear that the Creator has abandoned its creations. Demons are the products of imagination, of a childlike mind still in development, born from narrow consciousness, trapped between the Egypts of the brain's hemispheres. When we lack the tools or the capacity to explain reality, it feels like an attack. The code offers a solution: to move from being knowers to being witnesses. Quiet observation of what is. Sweet surrender. But if you insist on continuing to pray, or more precisely, to coil like the snake, then keep watching the words on the screen.
To be delivered from the necessary consequences of your own stupidity.
I see. Okay.
What do you pray for? You pray that the pathway forward might reveal itself to you. That, and in all humility.
Yeah.
That's the humility is, I see but through a glass darkly.
Yeah.
Please help me clarify my vision.
Let there be light.
People think of God as the joke is a cosmic butler. You pray to have your wishes granted. It's like, he's not a genie. You want to pray? It's like, pray about your stupidity. Here's a prayer that'll work for sure. You want to see if prayer works? Here's one. This will work. Sit on the edge of your bed. Ask yourself, what bloody stupid thing do I continue to do that's making my life more miserable than it has to be, and everyone else's life around me, that I could give up, that I would give up? But you have to really want the answer.
Because when I learned yoga, I learned to meditate, and so I meditated from 13 till I was 55 every day in all different kinds of ways with all different kinds of purposes. But what I didn't understand in terms of meditation, especially Eastern meditation, until I started to pray, I was reading Thomas Merton, and I can't remember which book it was.
Seven-Story Mansion was one of them.
Anyway, in it he says that meditation is to be done with scripture. Mm-hmm. But I don't know the quote.
Sure.
I could probably put it into Grok. Grok would tell me what the quote was. I should do that, I guess, because I like to talk about this. Because it's, I could clear my mind in a yoga meditation way. You know, I could imagine that I was surrounded in green colors of light for healing and this kind of thing. But so you can do that, but I still had trouble after that. Like it was never replaced with what was best.
Okay.
You got to replace it with what is best. The meditation has to be replaced with. It has to be augmented with scripture, and then it works very, very well. So I was very good at. I have a very good visual imagination, and I think maybe meditation, all those years of meditation might have been helpful so that I can really see things really clearly in my head. But now I have scripture, and that is like having a race car with me, that it just gets me where I need to go.